Kia ora fam, this reading is for earth signs and fire signs, so that's Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mars, wherever it falls in your chart might be where these energies are exalted. So if it's in your Venus, that would be like in your love life and in your love towards yourself. If it's in your rising, that would be how you relate to the world externally. If it's your moon, that'll be your emotions. Cool. Guidance and affirmations you have for Earth and Fire sign collective at this time. Okay, we have 5 of water. The water element. So I think that's Pluto, Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces, the outcast. 4 of fire. I think that's Leo. Let's do one more. What guidance and affirmation do you have for fire and earth signs at this time? And 6 of earth. Got Taurus, Capricorn. Okay. So I'm seeing that some of y'all need to be honest with yourself about your feelings. Some of y'all are feeling quite rejected or triggered, or some traumas coming up in relation to family, in relation to exchange. So maybe there's something in the past that happened recently, I would say, where some of you felt a bit rejected or having to let go of something, someone, and it's bringing up some triggers. So let yourself feel. With the water element, this is letting yourself feel authentically what you feel. And you might be learning at this time to like manage your emotions on a different level. I feel like this has been activated by the full moon. We have the sun there as well. So the sun and the moon have potentially been, I was going to say triggering you. So like bringing this up for you intentionally, if that makes sense. So within your subconscious waters, and what the moon, this full moon that we've just had, is highlighted for you all, is to really lean into more gratitude. And maybe some of you all have gone through a lot of neglect, or have been neglectful of others or yourself, and you're really being called to step more into gratitude, into joy. It's teaching you what whānau is, what family really means. And when I say that, that's not in a Western way, that's in an indigenous indigenous way, what family actually means. So maybe some of you will need to think about that, like, and take it back to your roots a little bit. Sometimes family isn't blood as well. I'm hearing as you travel with, yeah. So some of you all might, if you haven't done this, the energies of the moon are still around for the next couple days, fam. So if you still want to work with the full moon and you've kind of missed out on doing any like ceremony or ritual, or just like spending some intentional time, it may be a good time to do that. With the 4 of fire, I'm always highlighted to the candles that they're holding. These 4 people are going to Yamuya, they're going to the sea, the divinities of the sea, to give thanks. There's people of all ages here, and they're giving their offering. So some of you all need to give some offering. If you're into that, just take a little bit of kai, no wrappers, no plastic. Just a little bit. You could take it out to a sea that you like. Just leave it at the where you know I was actually talking to my friend about this yesterday, where you know the waves are gonna come up and kind of eat whatever offering you give, whether it's flowers, whether it's some fruit. In my culture, and the practice, ancestral practice that I follow, and in Ifa, the sea really likes sweet things, sweet offerings. So like things like cake, cookies. um, you can bake that yourself if you want. You don't have to go that hundies. Anyway, giving offering at the shore. You could also just pour, if you don't want to do anything like that, you can just pour up some water, pour up some liquor. If you need guidance on that, DM me. Yeah, but there's something here about you're needing to hone in on exchange when it comes to your whānau and your ancestral practice. So some of you'll need to get a little bit more, I don't want to say serious, but a little bit more serious about your ancestral practice or your routine, and incorporating that into your lifestyle, so your everyday or even just your week. Because there's something here about you learning about what exchange really means. And maybe that's through the rejection that you've faced, the trauma that you've gone through in the past, is showing you what love means and what stability looks like and what a harmonious exchange in the physical realm looks like as well. And your ancestors, our ancestors really, in our relationship with them, they really show us that, like what we truly deserve and what our standards should be. For me personally, I've gone through relationships where I've just cut people off. People have cut me off, like, you know, whatever, or been rejected, quote unquote. But there's that saying that everyone says that's like, rejection is divine protection, you know. Yeah, we may lose something or someone, but it's actually a protective thing. And sometimes the triggering that comes up is just resistance to that, and learning to lean into surrender a little bit more is really, really helpful. Learning to remember what we can be grateful for in this current moment is really helpful to like ease the resistance, ease the triggering, ease whatever is coming up for us at this particular time. So yeah, you don't have to do this gratitude, this ritual, this ceremony by yourself. You can do it with people that you love, that you are whānau to you, if you feel like you have that around you at this time. And if you don't, I'm seeing your ancestors reiterating that they are with you and they're protecting you, and they're also grateful for you and your company and your existence. So even if other people don't see your worth at this current time, or in the past have, you know, rejected you or whatever, don't worry about it, you know. Move through whatever it's bringing up from childhood or from the past or whatever. Acknowledge it, and then just be grateful for what you have at this current time and what your ancestors and source, the divine, God, universe, whatever you call them, is bringing for you in the future. Because coming up in the future, one thing I always do is I pull past, present, future. So with the future cards, 4 of fire and 6 of earth, there's a lot of harmony here. There's an even number and an odd number. Oh wait, no, it's not. It's 4 and 6. I'm dying at myself. But 6 for me is a lot about compassion, and I'm trying, I want to say balance, experiencing that harmony in that flow of exchange, yeah. I'm also seeing that your ancestors are really wanting to nourish you at this time through the physical realm. So through what you eat, through your physical exchanges with others, through even your mahi, or your mahi toi, your craft, your art. Yeah, and we had Elegba, who is the grandfather of the crossroads, the Yoruba, Nigerian Orisha divinity of all the divine doors that are opening and closing, and all the entryways, right? So there's something coming up for you, but you'll definitely have to acknowledge any rejection or mamai or whatever it may be, you know. and be honest about it. You can write it down, talk to someone if you need to. And it's okay to feel rejected. It's okay to feel loss. It's a part of life. My laptop battery is on 33% and it's 9:33 a.m. So, yeah, when I see 33, for me, it really is showing that ancestors are really, really close. So there's that reiteration for y'all. We have Oba, the Yoruba Orisha of love. She really represents fluidity and listening to our own intuition. I just heard the word travels, so that might be significant. Two of air. Gemini, Libra. Yeah, I'm seeing that there are going to be people, okay, if you've lost people in your life, there are going to be people that match your energy coming up. That is like, it's like, you know, when you lose something and you're grieving it, and then you move into something that is more aligned and you're like, oh, why was I ever sad? It kind of feels like that kind of energy. We have 9 of Fires, Leo, Aries, 3 of Air, 5 of Earth. Yeah, some of you all are experiencing quite a bit of heaviness. Align with those that that mirror you in light ways, and where you can express yourself. So you're really encouraged to talk to other people about it, how you're feeling, your emotions, even expressing your creativity in that way. Some of you need to detox, to cut certain things out as well. Some of you will need to just spend some time with your ancestors. 9 of Fire is also putting in that work. So it might be a little bit of work or a bit of a challenge at this time to really sit with some of your wounds, with 3 of Air and 5 of Earth, but it's really necessary for you to identify the hurt that has been caused in your family patterns, and also look at the lack that you have experienced in your exchanges. This could be with whānau, with friends. This could be also in like material exchange as well, because with dwarves and gnomes at the base of the deck, you're in this area, in this space of your life where you're actually really, really protected, and this is very much so being watched over by the earth, the spirits of the earth, the energies of the earth, your ancestors that have been here, and also the cosmos, the stars, the moon. You know, in all indigenous traditions and cultures, we give reverence to the earth and we give reverence to the star systems that we all whakapapa back to, whether it be Sirius, whether it be Matariki, whether it be you know, all the different ones. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, I really encourage you to do your research on what star systems you whakapapa back to. Sorry, whakapapa means like your genealogy, or where you trace your ancestral line back to. Yeah, so 5 of Fire and Aquarius star. So some of you, there's a little bit of tension in your ancestral line. This is quite a specific reading, so this might not be for everyone, but I am seeing like there's a bit of conflict. So sometimes on the other side, in the spirit realm, our ancestors do fight. So I'm seeing a little bit of that. So if you're feeling a little bit of tension that you can't explain in your body, specifically heat, I just heard heat rash, so some of you might be getting heat rashes, which is random. Or experiencing conflict in your relationships, especially particularly your love life, platonic or romantic. There could be something that your ancestors are struggling. Sometimes it's even us that are fighting our ancestors in our destiny. So I'm seeing some of us, there's some resistance to the path that we actually are meant to go down. But this path is or I'm hearing like this path is better for us. This path is going to serve us more. I'm also hearing why would you want to be attached to something that isn't actually working for you and is a harder, not necessarily harder, but a path of more resistance when your ancestors are leading you down a path of less resistance, and it's going to be a bit smoother for you. When we don't follow our ancestral path, our destiny, our purpose, or whoever we're meant to be, it can cause a lot of challenges for us in our lives. And so for some of us, I'm seeing that's what's happening. I also see some of us need to really just believe in who we are ancestrally. So we might be quite angry at our ancestors, could be our family or whatever, for what they've done, or which is such a normal and natural thing. So don't feel bad about that. But I'm seeing there needs to be a bit more compassion for them, because you are them. You carry their DNA. So if you're angry at them, you're inherently angry at yourself, Guidance and affirmation do you have for fire? And I just said Capricorn, so Capricorn is very significant. An earth sign collective at this time. Guidance, information. 8 of Earth, reverse. So your ancestors want you to spend time honing in, writing down, identifying your triggers. If you need to get like some sort of therapy or something to help you with that, do so, or go and see someone that you can speak to. Can be an Indigenous practitioner as well, doesn't need to be Western way of doing things. But there's something here about needing to like take some time out from certain people and energies to focus and hone in on your long-term desires, your long-term goals, what you want to achieve for yourself in your generational line as well. Like what do you dream of experiencing in family, in friendship, in exchange? Because the door is open, like you can have that. And I know that sometimes it seems impossible because so many things have repeated themselves in our ancestral line. For example, like your dad and your mum went through this, and you think that you're going to go through it, and also your grandparents went through it. But it's honestly up to you. And I think this is why I do this mahi, to affirm us in our own ancestral power. And also that's what ancestral healing is working, taking the initiative, doing the hard mahi, the hard work, to identify what it is we need to break, what generational cycles or curses or whatever we need to work at detaching ourselves from. And it's not an instant thing. It can take years. So there is a need to be patient with yourself in the process, but it's also important not to resist that, because you just make it harder for yourself at the end of the day. 4 of water, issue. So the gods of the crossroads are really with us, with you. If you know any gods of the crossroads, divinities of the crossroads, atua, like within your culture, connect with them. Read stories on. I really encourage reading stories on the divinities, the gods that you relate to, because it really shows you how they weren't perfect. They did like the craziest and funniest shit if you actually read their stories, and it's really, really relatable. I think when we think of the divinities and the gods and the deities, we take it in a Western perspective, in a colonial perspective, in a Christian perspective, and this is why I have my ish with Christianity. But it's not like they're not angels. They're not like these like pure, never been through anything entities. And if they are in that like angelic, so to speak, form, it's because they've evolved to that and they've gone through shit to get there, and I've been saying this a lot to my friends as well. Like, a lot of people have a perception of me that unless you actually know me and have known me for a long time, that I can do no wrong, or that I don't fuck up, or that I'm perfect. And that's very far fucking from it, from the truth. I'm human just like everyone else. And also to get to the space where I'm at right now has taken me a lot of mahi, has taken a lot of self-reflection, a lot of sitting with myself and being honest with myself about where I'm at, my flaws, all those kinds of things, and just having compassion with myself to go through the process of healing. So yeah, some of you really need to move through some ancestral blocks. There are some blocks in terms of relating for some of your connecting emotionally because of hurt. So like, I heard standoffish. So some of you will maybe like keep people at arm's length and refuse to connect because you've gone through hurt in family, but you actually crave what your inner child craves is family. So as long as you keep doing that, you're not going to experience what you want to experience. With issue is the door in the crossroads. I showed you Elegba, the red card, the grandfather of all of the doors in the crossroads. Issue is the door. You know, so you're coming up to a crossroads, and this is very ancestral. So this is, I don't like to make things too heavy and scary, but I am seeing that this is a big choice for some of us to make. It's whether we leave the shit behind, leave the old narratives, old stories behind, or whether we and step forward, acknowledging what we fear, and moving towards that anyway, or whether we stay in the same place. You know, it's our choice. Every day it's our choice, and I think that that's what being in our power is that it's a choice. When we remember that we have a choice in all our decisions and all the energies that we embody, that's calling our power back to us. So some of us need to acknowledge our fear in connecting, acknowledge our fear in to be hurt again, and take that time out, do that work, whatever it may look like, however long it's going to take, and just commit to that. With Shango at the base of the deck, Yoruba, Orisha of justice, of contracts, of war. And remember that we have like ancestors fighting on our behalf to protect us, to start these new contracts, commitments, destiny lines, I'm hearing. So just because your ancestors went down a certain path doesn't mean you can't break off into a new one. You're still connected to them in that story, but you can start afresh. So yeah, I'm going to leave that there. I hope that's encouraging for some, because I feel like quite a heavy energy here. If you need a personal reading, like an ancestral reading, we have that on our website, which is just up here. I really encourage that for those that need it. Sometimes it's just beneficial to know your personal ancestral story, what you're carrying, and how you can transmute that.